Welcome to Rappahannock Issues. I'm Tom Cohen.
And I'm David Kerr.
And we're going to be looking at topics that are of interest to our community, both regionally and to the state.
Hello, I'm David Kerr, and this is Rappahannock Issues. We're coming back with Charlie Payne, who is representing the Walton Group, which is developing Alexander's Crossing in Spotsylvania County. We were talking just a little while ago about the nature of the project and how it's different in terms of how it's going to be a commercial center.
Right.
But it's still going to have a significant number of homes,
Right.
and when you build homes, you have kids.
Right.
And what's the developer going to be doing in terms of education and helping the schools?
Very good question. I mean, certainly a question we always get when you have a large project like this. Before we get there, it's important to understand that the county projects what its growth rate is going to be over a certain period of time. And this again is one of those projects that's long-term. At least 15-year build-out phasing. So you're not going to get 2,500 units overnight. And we are also located in what is deemed the county's high dense and growth areas. So we're doing what we believe the county is already planning. And if you look at the county's growth rate in the past 8 years during the recession, it has been just anemic. They've got school capacity, except at Rappahannock right now. I think they're a little bit over capacity there, but they have the ability, I think, to shift some kids. And there's not a plan per se to build a new high school. We will take a look at, obviously, potential future sites for other schools if we can in the project. But the proffer process is something that's unique in how you evaluate it. One, you try to look at a project and how it pays for itself. The Board of Supervisors has a policy that if a project pays for itself over 30 years, you should get credit for that against whatever the proffer requirements may be. The county is also going through a process of reevaluating its current proffers, bringing them down into more reality of what the actual costs are for capital investments down the road and what their growth potential is going to be. So we are evaluating that. Once we get our fiscal impact analysis back, we'll be able to put a package together that we think that would be very satisfactory to the county and pay for itself. No developer wants to come to the table and hurt a community. We're here to invest in the community and hopefully benefit the community. This project will include not only a commercial employment center, it will also include a civic center, which we hope the community will take advantage of. And again, I think there'll be significant transportation improvements, and also there'll be cash proffers to, offset any other potential impacts that we didn't cover in all the other things that we were doing.
One of the things we were talking about during the break, you were referencing how the sequestration, which occurred just about a year ago this week, so impacted this area. And you felt that was a very useful illustration of how reliant we are on the federal government, and perhaps an equally valuable lesson in saying perhaps we need to look for a whole different perspective on our reliance on that one center of activity. Do you see this as contributing to that?
Absolutely. The Commonwealth of Virginia is the #1 benefactor per person in the country of federal spending. Texas and California, I think, get more money, but per person we actually benefit the most. And sequestration has shown us anything is you cannot be dependent on the federal government. The governor's office, for the first time that I can remember, is saying to the business investment community, to the international investment community, we cannot no longer be dependent on federal spending. We need to invest in Virginia. We need to have private sector investment. We need to be able to transform those resources that we have on bases and in civil agencies to our investment community and to our business development community. And we're losing jobs. We're losing greater. during right now during the growth rate and the recovery, if you will, since the Great Recession, Virginia is not keeping pace with other states in its growth rate in regards to new jobs and new investment. Because many of our jobs that have been lost are jobs that were lost during sequestration and were federal jobs. It's not being replaced with private sector jobs. That's what our key future has to be. That's what this community needs to think about in the long term. We got a highly skilled workforce, some of which work for the federal government or federal related jobs, that need to understand, the employers need to understand, those folks are here. They don't have to get on the road. They don't have to congest the highways. They don't have to, they want a better quality of life, right? They want to get to their kid's soccer game after work, right? They want to be here. So we're telling the employers out there, if you're out there, come to this region. It's a great opportunity.
Charlie, I want to thank you very much for being on the show today and for illustrating and discussing this project in such detail. I think it's going to be very valuable for our listeners. And I want to thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
It's been Charlie Payne, a guest on Rappahannock Issues this week. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.